At 5. Oh, it is 5. Forgot about that.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of The Bright Side. I'm one of the hosts here, Howie Craw, and Dr. J.C. Dornick, better known as the Dragon. We'll get to your look today, Dragon, and where that comes from, but the reality of what's going on out there, and more important than ever, try and see the bright side through all of the negativity, uncertainty, and just the anxiety and stress that people are feeling. So, how are you feeling today, buddy?
Well, I'm always feeling fantastic because I have friends like you, and that's easy to see the bright side when you have friends like you. How we Craw. Who is that? I want to know who just called you right now. Is that
My
one
daughter,
of the
my
listeners?
daughter Natalie Craw.
I would answer that right now and have a conversation with her on the air. Um, but in any case, yeah, Howie, it's a choice, as you know. So I feel great, and I made the decision to feel that way this morning, regardless of what's happening right now. But we were just talking about this, a little bit of empathy, not sympathy, because sympathy means we're going to join the party. Empathy means we understand that it's a bit of a challenge to be a human being. It's interesting how if you look at the universe, you and I always talk about how the universe is in favor of our success. But if you really step back and look at the current reality, the structure of our world right now is not really in favor of people just coasting through things. People got to put a little bit of work in to see the bright side and to move to that top of the mountain. Wouldn't you agree?
I think it's a little bit more than a work. I think it's a real effort. And, like I just heard from some friends where in New York City, they just sent hundreds of thousands of kids home starting tomorrow that they're no longer going to be in a classroom. Although they already had a lot of people online, kids, children, that now that just adds to the chaos. So I
Yeah.
think that what we've talked about in the past few episodes are setting yourself up to win the day and starting and practicing these things. And they're probably more important now than they've ever been because people are just getting bombarded with what's the new norm or this new reality that we're in.
Yeah. Isn't that true? And that kind of, to be honest, that leads me to this look that I got today. This jacket means a lot to me. The Dragon shops at Zara, by the way. If anybody ever wants to get some dragon wear, this jacket is from Zara. And I love gold. I love shiny things. But this jacket, Howie, I don't know if you remember when the whole coronavirus thing started. But you and I are always looking to set ourselves up for success. But I remember it was like I remember we went with our company and we rang the bell on Wall Street. That was an amazing accomplishment. And I do want to boast a little bit, Howie, that this little company that you and I work for was just nominated or rated #2 fastest growing company in the world. But I
And
remember
that was Fortune that did that rating, right?
Fortune, yeah.
Yeah, it's a big, that's
#2,
huge.
above Netflix and Amazon, by the way.
And
You
Etsy.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
So,
Etsy's on fire right now.
well, apparently not enough. So, and the reason why is because everybody now knows, as you were saying, you do have to work for it, but you can't afford right now to come at things with your B game because you're going to get swallowed up, right? So whether it's achieving a mental state to see the bright side, to make that choice, or to just go at success, to achieve financial success. A lot of people are noticing right now that you can't just be lazy anymore. You can't go through the motions. In fact, a lot of people are out of work and stuff. So, we're thriving in this world because we help people get healthy and we even help people create financial wealth. But it's not easy. So, back to the jacket. I always, anytime I ever talk and I go like this, I feel like you, Howie. Whenever Howie Craw talks, he touches his heart or he goes, "Hey, Whitey," and he touches his neck. But the day that I realized that we were going to be quarantined, which was a new word back there, right? Quarantine. I'm like, what the hell does quarantine mean, right? Look at that. There's my chicken. She says, is that my husband, the hot one in the gold jacket? You're damn right it is. That's my chicken right there. But I put this jacket on. It was a little cold back at that time. And I made a decision to start running. Now, I'm not a runner, but just like Forrest Gump, I said, I'm going to start running every day until this coronavirus thing ends. So I did it for 2 months. I didn't know it was going to last for but just like you, I was running every day, but I wore this jacket every day. So it's like, feel tough. I feel like a little Beastie Boys and a little tough in this jacket. Anyway.
We've actually, I'm coming to you from South Florida, and we actually are experiencing a little bit of a chill in the air. The weather has absolutely changed here.
That's right. See, Howie, over there, you guys are cool. We're cold over here in the East Coast, in New York. You're cool. So, Howie, let's talk a little bit about our topic today, because man, I think it's very, very conveniently located as we're moving into Thanksgiving, but it's just the super highway to living in the present moment and seeing the bright side. We were talking about that.
And we talked a lot about, you can't, if you're driving, and especially if you're going to a Thanksgiving dinner and you're socially distanced and it's a small crowd, you can't just live in that rearview mirror. What we talked about is that you need to be present for what's going on today. What's happened has happened there. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? So that is a place that we all need to work really hard to get to be present for today. So if you are going to a Thanksgiving dinner and if you're going to be with people, it's being present in that moment and enjoying everything about that moment and taking in everything that moment brings to you. That would be the bright side. If you walk into one of those, or a Zoom, or however you're going to do it, with all of the negative connotations of past experiences at those family dinners or with some of those family members, you're setting yourself up for failure. And it goes like that with everything. So being present, being here, where you are, where your feet are right now is so important.
Yeah. And it's an interesting question to ask yourself, and just say, where are you right now? And the sentence starts with, I am ... Can you say that I am here right now? Or, as you said, are you living in the past? What's interesting about the biggest struggle that humans face is it's really about, you're either living in the past or you're worried about the future. And what's that saying? It says, the past is history, the future is a mystery. So being present right now is a gift.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I notice that a lot of people struggle with is letting go. I always like to use the analogy, and this is the struggle that people have to acknowledge the value of living in the present. So a lot of people are holding on to this kite string. I always envision this little kid sitting on the beach on a windy day, and he's holding that kite string, and the kite up there, right, is the past, right? If somebody comes over and scissors that thing and then the kite just flies away, sometimes you got to let go of the past, right? Because the past has nothing to do with your future, right? The past has no say in your today. So if you can learn how to let go of the past, because a lot of people are traveling through the world, they're looking at the future through the lens of the past, but they're also kind of carrying their past with them like the tail of a comet. You got to get rid of that tail. But then the other challenge is that people are worried about the future as if they're Nostradamus and they can predict the future. I can't predict the future. I don't think
anybody can.
I know you used to be pretty good at predicting futures of the financial world, right? There he goes with the hand, right? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I did, JC, back in the day. But if you learn how to become present right now, that's where it's at right now. Because how do you find the bright side? What is the bright side? The bright side is what it is that is bright in your life. And that is what you have, not what you have not, or not what could have been, right? So what is the super highway to living present and recognizing what you have? It's gratitude, right? An attitude of gratitude. If you can just live in this present moment and only acknowledge what you have, not what you have not, what's in your control, not what's out of your control. Do you know what it feels like to be out of control? It's scary. You get anxious about it. You get nervous. You get frustrated. You get angry sometimes. If you want to let go of all that stuff, all you got to do is just have an attitude of gratitude, and all of a sudden you live in the present moment, right?
Every study shows that the more gratitude you have, it's better on your heart, it's better on your health, it's better on all your bodily systems. And it just starts every day before you jump out of bed. We talk about it. It's just starting with 3 things you're grateful for and setting yourself up with a gratitude list every day and asking yourself, what am I grateful for? And it could be little simple things. It doesn't have to be anything big or significant. But I do think that people, and goes back to where we started, so much of what's going on in this world today is out of our control. But yet it's being marketed and fed to us 24/7 on every various news cycle, internet posts, wherever you look, it's become a scorecard, and everybody's fixated on numbers every day that are out of our control, that then just spiraling into other areas of their life.
So true. Leading up to Thanksgiving, which is Chicken and Dragon's favorite holiday. Why is it our favorite holiday? Because, in this crazy world that we just live in, where people are so scared and concerned and worried and living in the past and the future, and this political thing, this coronavirus thing is just becoming people's identity. It's never been so important to have this attitude of gratitude, but it isn't easy. And that's how we started off. So I'd like to go through a couple of ideas that I use. One of the things that I like to do is I like to do what I call a thank you roundup. This is a fun technique that I use. And Chicken will laugh because sometimes when we're in bed at night or when I wake up in the morning, she'll hear me. She thinks I'm talking in my sleep. She'll hear me just kind of saying something. She'll be like, what are you saying? And what I'm doing is she hears me say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And what a thank you roundup is, and I call it a roundup because I have this visual of just all of these things that I'm grateful for circling around. And then each time I say thank you, I recognize them and pull them in. So it starts off by saying, thank you for my kids. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my good friends like Howie Craw. Thank you for my chicken. Thank you for my little ducky, right? And then, but then I start to realize, thank you for this bed, right? Thank you for the shelter. Thank you for the experiences today. Thank you for the mean people that have taught me lessons. Thank you for the struggle. Thank you for the failure. And I just thank. And you know what's funny about doing a thank you roundup? You know what happens is all of a sudden you realize that you're in the present moment because you're talking about the things that are actually happening when you say thank you, right? So that's something I do just to get in that present moment. And I'm sure you have a little bit of a routine that you do in the morning.
I think my affirmations help a lot. I remind myself of things that I feel about myself, listen to them, repeat them, write them, and affirmations are really helpful to put me in the present, in a state of mind that's positive and where I want to be. And so that's helpful. And, the gratitude list. And so these are the kind of things that you need to do to remind yourself to stay away from all of the others that want to pull you into that place. So, yeah, it's important to get yourself into a positive state of mind.
Yeah. It's interesting what you just said is those others that want to pull you into that place. I recorded a podcast this morning that I didn't do live, but I was just looking at and this is fascinating. I'm excited about this one. Just thinking about the word conformity, right? And the name of the Rise Up is called Confirmation. which is potentially a religious thing, but it's not. But if you look at the idea of conformity, what does it mean to conform, right? It means to kind of like fall in line and follow, everybody else. That's what I look at. And I'm always in observation at the fact that most of our problems are the statistics, like depression or obesity or financial, whatever. If you look at statistics, what's interesting about statistics is they're always related and connected to the masses, right? Statistics are not created by the small groups of people. They're created by the big groups of people, AKA the herd, right? And right now, the herd is in what I call a stampede, right?
Oh,
and when
they're running with the bulls right now. That's running with the bulls.
Just like that, running with the bulls. So the herd is in a stampede right now of concern, fear, uncertainty, all that stuff, right? So back to this word conformity. I was thinking this morning about that, and I said to myself, JC, make sure that you're not conforming to the world, rather conforming to your world and your reality, right? So that opens up this new idea. It's like, what is your reality? What is your chosen reality? Because sometimes you could look at your reality and realize that it's been tainted and affected outside in by the world, right? But if you're conforming to extraneous outside in things, then you're conforming to the herd and you're going to become part of the statistic, right?
Yeah, but I know you and I always have a disclaimer every time we talk about certain things, because how could you not respect and care for the damage that coronavirus has done? But we don't watch the news all the time.
We don't want to get in any arguments with people.
Right. So, of course, you're going to conform by a disclaimer saying your heart breaks for anyone who's been affected by it. But on the other hand, and then but you always have that disclaimer, because you want to show respect for it, but you don't want to be part of the running with the bulls in the herd. That's all you want to talk about.
I don't know if we want to show respect. We kind of are supposed to. So when we give a disclaimer, we're kind of conforming to the herd, but that unveils that word respect. And I like to be respectful. But the truth is, I want to tell everybody, take a left turn instead of a right turn today. Take a left turn instead. Like literally, if you're on your way to the supermarket, just take a turn and just look to the left. What's interesting about success, and I learned this, the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Yep.
By Kiyosaki. Amazing book.
Yep.
Changed the world. But in that, the storyline, the character of Rich Dad in the book is this guy, Marshall Thurber, who I had the opportunity to mentor with. Amazing guy. If you ever want to watch like just killer YouTube videos, just look up Marshall Thurber. And watch his TED Talk. Unbelievable. But one of the things Marshall talks about, and this is very bright side oriented, is he says one of our challenges in life is that when we do get goal oriented, when we have a desired state, like going to the supermarket or killing it in your health program or succeeding in business, we're taught to keep our eye on the prize, which makes sense. So we're focused here. But what Marshall Thurber talks about is he goes, you'll notice that success and growth doesn't come from there. It comes from here. So that's the idea of being open to saying, maybe this is not the way. Maybe I'm conforming and running with the herd. So I'm going to take a left turn, or I'm going to at least turn to the left, turn to the right, as you're supposed to do when you drive a car, get the big picture. And what happens in that moment is you see a different side of things. And that's another concept of this whole bright side of things, is you just have to recognize if you're seeing a dark side right now, just getting curious and saying, well, if there's a dark side, we know the way the universe works. That means there must be a bright side. So start looking around for it. It's like that story when you get two kids, put one kid in a room full of like beautiful colors and candy and music, and the other one is in a room full of donkey turds, right? And the difference between those two kids is one of them has a positive outlook and the other one has a negative. So the kid in the colorful candies and music comes out and goes, oh, this is too loud and this candy's too sweet. I'm going to get a toothache and all that stuff. And then the kid comes out of the room full of donkey turds and he goes, with all this crap, there's got to be a pony somewhere, right? So even in the darkest of times, we can always choose to see the bright side. So I like to just get curious and question the herd and say, maybe these people don't know what the hell they're doing. I'm doing it because it seems like what I'm supposed to. I'm going to take a turn to the left and right. By the way, that's why the dragon dress is a little bit crazy, because I want to just shake things up a little.
Yeah. Taking another turn. What is the risk? Doing the same old.
Yeah.
Doesn't gets you the same old result. So curiosity, living above the line, being curious, being open, exploring. Those are all things that you do to be open. I think on that dark side, you're going to be below the line, where you're closed. You always have to be right. You're not interested in knowledge. You know it all. So I think it's important to realize that we all go there. But when we're there, we're not look for the other side of it or another version of it, or it's a place that there's no risk in going there. And you could find a lot of happiness there, or you could definitely find different there, and different could be good.
Well, listen, if you're not happy, try different.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's funny how we all resist change and difference, right? And that's why that whole idea of conformity. By the way, you're giving me some stuff I want to re-record my podcast. But different, abnormal, unusual is what it is that we should seek, and you mentioned this idea of risk. We always are afraid of risk, but if you ask yourself that question, you say, what's the risk? I used to run a mastermind group called What's the Risk? And the whole concept of it was, what is the risk of taking a chance? What is the risk of seeking a different opinion? I was talking to Chicken today about how valuable it is whenever something's happening and you're observing someone or something is happening, rather than just reacting the way you feel, stop, pause, and walk around it. In my book, I call it holographic vision. Look at it from all angles, right? To just see if maybe it looks different when you think about it from their side and all that stuff. So what's the risk of taking a chance? Well, you might fail. It might be a wrong decision. If you go this way instead of the normal way, you might find out that it was a waste of your time. But what's the risk of never trying a different approach and taking a risk?
You'll never get the reward. You won't change.
You're never going to grow. You're never going to grow.
That's where growth happens, when you decide to take that other chance, that other path, that other turn. That is where you could possibly find the greatness that we're all looking for.
Howie, I have a question for you, because Chicken and Dragon don't watch TV. And we've got this new thing where we've shut off our notifications, and I don't shut off your notifications, but we're so laser focused on the things that matter most, we don't even know what's going on. Do we have a new president yet? Has that happened yet? Or is there still some sort of controversy and stuff?
Well, it hasn't been conceded. So there's controversy, but the Electoral College has Biden winning, and there'll be recounts, but there's a mess going on in a proper way to hand over the power. So we have a president-elect, but I don't know that.
So does that mean, is that like a president maybe?
We'll know soon, but all things pointing that Biden will be the next president. And somebody just asked if Trump will run. This isn't a political show. This is just JC is asking for a little update.
Tell you what, my Dragon's getting ready to make a point. Isn't it convenient? You just use the word mess, right? And what's her? I forget her. What's that? Mel Robbins. I think she talks about taking your mess and making your mess your message, or something like that. Anyway, I just want everybody to just take a moment and recognize how convenient it is to have that mess. And here's what I mean by that. Because to be honest with you, I don't really know. Like if
you knew what I told you, though. You knew what I told you.
No. But we haven't checked in a long time, and we wouldn't know if it happened, right? But here's my point. When things like that happen, controversy and all that stuff, regardless of if you're happy with what's going on or sad, controversy affects both sides, right? Because if you're on the winning side, you're pissed off at the people that said that you're a loser. If you're on the losing side, you think that the winners are losers, right? So everybody is a mess right now. But how convenient is it when you have those things, those opportunities, almost like hall passes to get off of task of taking responsibility for your life? You can't. How can I take responsibility for my life with all this crap going on? I gotta try to control the uncontrollable over here. So I just want everybody to just get a reality check. And this is not Howie and I. We're always going to choose the bright side. If somebody says, Dragon, who did you vote for? I go, same as you. And they go, how do you know who I voted for? I go, tell me, who did you vote for? And they tell me, I go, me too. Right? I'm always going to choose the bright side of the relationship. But be careful that you are using this as an excuse to stop your forward momentum towards your dreams. I'm going to go ahead and recommend, in my last words here today, that you decide what it is that you want and what actually matters. Make a fundamental decision to go and grab what it is that you dream of and connect it to the things that matter, and make that the most important thing, and make a secondary choice to only do things and associate with people that facilitate that dream and become obsessed with it. You're all taught that obsession is a bad thing. It's a great thing if you're obsessed with your dreams and the things that matter most. But be careful of those things that come in and give you an excuse or a hall pass to be distracted, especially the ones, Howie, that you have no control over. I'm not telling you to be.
Which are the ones that people are walking around with hall passes coming out of their pockets. That I'm paralyzed. I can't do this because of this. And those things are completely out of our control. So aligning what you want with your habits, with your dreams, and go after it. And, create the momentum, and don't allow the things over here that are a lot of noise to pull you down or take you away from it.
Yeah. All I would say to everybody as we close up, there's a lot of people like this. We're getting a lot of positive feedback. But typically people leave this show and they just say, now I know some things, right? So how do you go into full on action? The first thing that you want to do is you want to start with you, right? You got to start with you. And the easiest way to snap into action, to move out of the darkness into the light, is with your health. And that is exactly what Howie does for people. That's what I've been doing for a long time. We both have our own stories. You want to step into your A game. Even, here's the thing. Once you go on a program and you start eating right and just practicing healthy habits, an hour later, just from the decision, an hour later, your life starts to change. A day later, a week later, everything looks, that's the easiest way to the bright side, because only on a healthy body rests a healthy mind. You want to look at things differently? Go on Howie's program for 1 week and see how you look at things a week later. And once you start to take care of your body, anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. You don't have to be smart. You don't have to be gifted or lucky. Anybody, you're all eating. So just choose to do it the right way and have a structured program. This is what Howie does. I lost 83 pounds to do that. That's how the Dragon was formed. So start off with your physical, and your mental will start to follow. And all of the things that you desire, that you think that you can't accomplish, it's because you can't see them right now. But once you can see them on your healthy body, rests your healthy mind, all of a sudden you realize nothing you can't do. So that's what I want to say is take action by actually reaching out and saying, I woke up today with a burning desire in my stomach that said, I don't want to live like this anymore. I want to go into action and I want to create new potential and possibilities. Reach out to them. How would somebody reach out to you, Howard?
Well, you could reach me. I'm available on Facebook, Howie Craw. Howie Doing It. Any one of those, you could private message me. My email.
How we do it.
Howie at howiedoingit.com, but Howie Craw, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. You could find me on any of these. But JC, it's really amazing to watch the transformation with the people that I'm working with, that we're working with together. It's life altering,
including the amazing woman that is running this show for us right now.
She's the best. Amber, we couldn't do this in her progress. And look at she's gonna
kill us for mentioning her name, but she's accomplished quite a bit. She's changing every day.
Yes, she is, and she sent us a couple of hearts.
2 little heart signs.
All right, one for each one of us. The best. So JC, a week coming up. We got Thanksgiving. We'll come back possibly, or we'll see you the week after.
Yeah, whatever.
All right. Whenever. Love you too, buddy. All right. Thanks to everybody for being here.
Bye-bye, guys.
Have a great day. I look forward to you contacting me. Let's have a conversation. You know what I call it? Virtual coffee. Let's have a virtual coffee.